family was a main thing, because a lot of what I found through my recovery process was going back to when I was 9 years old, and my parents were both, we moved a lot, they worked a lot, and a lot of my issues with eating were things that happened when I was younger, in the sense of I wasn't willing to look at them then. I felt abandoned because my parents were working. They were trying to make a living for us, but they weren't there. So as I grew up, I would eat and they would make comments. And I think family is one of the main focuses for a lot of people, and that's why stress eating happens the most during the holiday season. There's no coincidence that the depression rates skyrocket this time of year. They go hand in hand. And so again, we look at, I think a really good tip is to not take it personal. Once I was able to recognize that when my dad would make a comment about thunder thighs, or should you really be eating that extra cookie, whatever it wasn't about me. It's about them and their process, whatever they're going through. So if somebody makes a comment and you feel defensive, or you feel it makes you tend to want to overeat, maybe take a step back and tend to ask, well, what is this bringing up for me? Back when I was really in it, emotional eating, especially, just look at what's going on in society right now and the tragedy and the events, not to bring point to it, but it is tough. It is really tough out there, and there's a lot of things that are out of our control. And we feel helpless. Humans in general, we feel helpless, and especially during the holidays. Now, in this time of year, there's family issues. We see people we don't normally see. They sometimes bring up insecurities or things that we haven't really addressed all year. And then there's also insecurities with finances. Can I afford that gift? Bosses, parties, and the food is right there. And so we tend to, it's a quick comfort. We don't quite always know what's bothering us. We just know that we're out of alignment with self, and the food becomes easier, and it becomes a comfort, and it becomes a source of like a breath of fresh air, and I feel better. And so the holidays it's everywhere, whether it's the sugar sitting at the work party, or it happens to be, just everywhere you go, there's more food, because food in our culture is really a celebration of life, and it happens to be the holidays. So you give gifts of food, and it's always around. During the holidays, more of us, we tend to emotional overeat, but an emotional overeater, it doesn't matter what. Anything can trigger you. The dog barking, somebody being a little bit late, not getting enough sleep. Every single thing happens to be an emotional reactor. And then, of course, food is right there to help you through it. But of course, we know that food is not the answer. It's really about feeling your feelings and saying, okay, I feel frustrated now. I feel overwhelmed. And I really kind of did a self-evaluation late in my 20s. I had a quarter-life crisis, and I realized this is not who I am. This is not what I want. And it was tied to a depression. And by really digging deep, I realized I'm out of alignment with my true self. And the more out of alignment I was with myself, the more I overate.